Hey there everybody, Nick here with TAC Drivers. Today we've got the Smith Wesson M&P Shield 380 EZ. They call it the EZ because they had it aimed towards women and elderly shooters that maybe don't have the strongest hands, and that slide is super easy to move. Another thing that's great about it is the mag has this thumb that used to only be for 22s. They did great with that. This particular one has just the grip safety. You can also get it with a thumb safety. We're going to do 5 shots at 5 yards, 10 yards, 15, and then 20. And this is my first time shooting one, so it's going to be very raw. Like I don't have any prior knowledge of this firearm. I've never even shot a 380 before today. I've shot 38s, but not a 380. But I've got targets set up. All I need to do is load these, and we'll get to moving things around and get some rounds put through this. But I'm pretty excited to do this. Like I said, first time. So let's get to shoot. Alright, so up first is 5 yards, of course. Start as close as I can so I can get an idea of where this shoots at different ranges. And because in the past I have had a problem of anticipating recoil, I've got a nice side view so you can see if I push down. That way it explains low hits. But after that said, we're all loaded up. 5 rounds. Let's see how this thing shoots. Obviously, start out aiming for center. Guys, I didn't even feel the recoil. And this is nice. Very little recoil, which is great, especially if you've got something that's supposed to be meant for a lady shooter. I'm all in orange, which is great. Also, 5 yards, I would hope I'm all in orange. I do wish I had a tighter grouping, but I'm not a marksman, so for the first time shooting this, I feel pretty good about that. But we're going to stick to one target. Let's push this back and see what we're capable of. Let's go. Alright, we've got the target out here at 10 yards now, and loaded up. And as you can see, I've got the target marked, showing where my hits were at 5 yards. I'm going to stick with one target so we can see maybe where I differ and things like that. So let's go ahead and get to shooting. And like I said, round chambered. There's no safety on this other than this grip. But let's see how we do now. Alright, I can see I've got one to the left and one to the right, or sorry, not the right, but low. But we're going to go ahead and go talk about that. Alright, so I got some pretty close together. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then these 2 floaters over here. I'm going to guess I pulled or jerked or something. I'll be able to tell. You guys already saw it, but I'll be able to tell when I edit, see what I'm doing. I'm going to guess I pushed just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and mark those, push this back another 5 yards, and see if we can stay in orange like that. So far, really impressed with this gun. Like I said, I've never shot one before. Very little recoil, easy to stay on target. I'm going to mark this, shove it back, and we'll get to it. All right, here we are, 15 yards. Ready to get loaded up. This is going to be a real short video if I keep this up because there's not much to this. I really like this gun. It shoots beautifully. I would love to get someone that isn't me. You know, I've shot obviously more than some people have. I would love to get a fresh shooter on this handgun just to see how they do. see what they think of the recoil and things like that. But obviously, if someone hasn't been around guns a ton, they're probably not going to be super willing to come out and do that. But we're here, 15 yards away. Let's see what this guy's capable of. So far, I've been able to hold center, so I am just going to stick with that. And like I said, I'm really enjoying this. From here, I can see I've got one to the right, one low. Now I've got one to the left, I've got one to each side. But let's get out there and talk about it. I'm loving how smooth this thing is, guys. This is a great firearm. I can already tell you that much. It's pretty consistent. I'm even consistent with this one, which is great. Very light recoil, which is amazing for that. I'm going to also shoot the 9mm at some point, so I'm interested to see how they compare between each other. But I'll talk about that when I shoot that one, because I've shot this one already. But let's go talk about my hits, and then we'll shove it out to 20 yards and see how it does. Alright everyone, looks like I've got one center, and then two low and one right, which obviously only equals 4. So, I think I was probably anticipating recoil. That would explain these guys. Pull a little bit. This distance, it's not going to take much to cause this to change. But I still feel good about pushing this back to 20. I think maybe I'll just try to aim up in here a little more and see if I get an orange. But we're going to take care of that and get this thing shoved back, get another 5 rounds through that 380. This is a great firearm. That's all I can say about it. Obviously, there's one area I like, especially if I'm aiming for right and around here. I'm doing pretty good, I'd say. But enough about that. Let's do this thing. All right, everyone. Got those last 5 here, ready to go at 20 yards. And like I said, I think I'm going to go up some just because of how low a couple of them shots were. Hopefully this doesn't make me miss high and not end up on paper. But 5 rounds. I love how this gun feels to everyone. I really do. They did a great job designing this. It shoots well. So let's go see how I did. It's easy to get back on target, and it's just low recoil, which is great in a firearm. Helps with regaining your target a little faster and everything like that. But this thing's fun. I'm gonna see how I did. All right, so I've got one way up here and then one in orange. So I did exactly what I was concerned about. I probably missed over the top this time. Double check. I got one over here. I'm gonna guess I did that at 15 yards. I didn't notice it before, but I'll be able to say when I finally go through and edit these. But we got one in orange and one way up here. So for me at least, 15 yards is all the further I really want to shoot this. And I think I'm actually at 25 now that I think about it. I went too far. I think I'm at 24.5. So that makes me feel a lot better. In that case, I'm going to double check before I move, and then I'll verify what yardage this was. But I like this gun. It's definitely a good one to have. It's capable up to at least 15 yards. I think even after 20, you're doing pretty good. If you think about it, I was trying to aim around here, so I've got one here and here. This guy isn't good. This one's fairly close. So with me aiming here, I still don't feel super bad about that. Obviously you're going to hit, if you're aiming center mass, you're going to hit what you're aiming at. So I think that's really it for the shooting of this one. Like I said, I'm going to verify what yardage I shot that at. Great gun. We're going to talk about this a little more in a bit, but I don't like taking up the range space, even when it's as nice as it is, just so that we can talk about it a little more once I'm back at my place. But great gun. Again, I can't say that enough. I'm serious. I love the low recoil, and it's a good one. But yeah, let's get home, and I will show you how to disassemble for cleaning this firearm. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. Hey there everybody, here we are back from the range with that EZ380. I seriously enjoyed this thing. It was great. I love the grip safety versus a thumb safety. I kind of wish I had done a couple things safely, of course, trying to pull the trigger without that. Let's make sure she's cleared. She is. So let's go ahead, put a mag in it, and so that's nice. It won't fire otherwise. Let's try that. Yep, it'll. The firing pin will drop without a mag in it. It's always good information to know. Great little gun. I want one of these very bad. This was the first 380 I've ever shot, and I kind of want to shoot more just to see what other ones are like. This has the nice grooves in here and the everything, so you can put a light on there, which is nice. You could put a nice little strobe on there. It might tell people where you're at, but other than that, let's go over disassembly. If you look at your top portion of your slide, there's a nice little arch in there. It's got to get lined up with this lever here. Best way to do that, you can go ahead and lock it back, and all you got to do is pull this down. Don't have to try to push anything out or anything like that. I know there's other firearms that are that way. Take it off the slide lock, and it comes right apart. There's your lower for cleaning. We're not going to do anything with that just because of the break-in period for these. Got your spring and your barrel. Nice bare bones, just like any of these really. Go ahead, and the reverse of that is how it goes together. You drop that in, and goes your spring. And if you ever get lost when you're taking these apart and you don't know which way that goes, there's the smaller end almost always goes down here. It's got to get up into this one. This one is actually oblonged, so it only goes in there that direction. And then get that into place. There's little tabs on here. They should line up on there. And there you're slid back together. Go ahead and lock it into place. Flip it back. And there you are. Great little gun. I really enjoyed shooting that. And it's fairly accurate. I thought I did pretty well considering how I've done with some of the other ones in the past. But that's all there is to say about this thing. It really speaks for itself. And it's a great one, I would say. But other than that, like, subscribe, check out my website. The link for that is in the description. I'll also put the link to my Etsy, Facebook, and Instagram. All of them you can find under Tack Drivers. But I'll provide the links for you. I got different apparel, different Second Amendment gear, and things like that. But Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.